mixed the love potion inside her husband's food. As she was about to say the incantations given to her by the spiritualists, someone started banging at the door. It was a dark, stormy night in the village of Umuagu. The rain poured down heavily and lightning cracked the sky. The people of Umuagu were happy the rainy season had finally come. After a long dry season, they knew the rain would help their crops grow. But in a small hut, a woman named Azuka struggled to give birth, but despite her efforts, the baby wouldn't come out. The midwife Nnenna instructed Azuka's husband Okoro to get some herbs from her hut. These herbs would help speed up the delivery. Okoro hurried out into the rain, promising to return soon, but time passed and he didn't come back. Azuka, with her last bit of strength, finally delivered her baby all by herself. Nnenna then fashioned an amulet with herbs and whispered incantations over it, placing it around the baby's neck. They waited for Okoro, thinking he would return soon, but still, Okoro remained missing. She quickly finished her task and ventured out into the rain. There she found Okoro screaming for help. A fallen tree branch had injured him. He hadn't seen it as he stumbled and broke his leg. As Okoro lay in pain, unable to move, he thought about his wife Azuka and their newborn baby back in the hut. He hoped they were safe and well. Nnenna had helped him as much as she could, but she knew he needed more help. She quickly sought the help of some villagers who carried Okoro back to his hut, where Azuka and the baby were waiting anxiously. Okoro then named the baby Nzubechukwu, which means God's plan in Igbo language. Meanwhile, Okoro was feeling so much pain on his legs, unable to move them. He had glimpsed the baby's eyes before he fell. He wondered if the storm had brought both a curse and a blessing upon their family. 6 months later, things weren't going well for Azuka after she developed a fever. She started feeling very tired all the time. At first, she thought it was just because of being a new mom. One day, Azuka collapsed while trying to cook dinner, and that night, Azuka slept but never woke up. Okoro was scared and didn't know what to do. As the days went by, the baby's cries seemed to grow louder, especially at night. Okoro, his father, tried everything to soothe him, but nothing seemed to work. Okoro felt helpless. He missed Azuka terribly. One day, Okoro couldn't bear it anymore. He decided to ask his mother to come and help take care of the baby. When she arrived, she saw how tired and troubled Okoro looked. Okoro's mother spent hours rocking Nzube to sleep, but despite her efforts, the baby still cried a lot, especially at night. Okoro watched them, his heart heavy with worry. Okoro, Nneka said, her voice firm, the child needs more than herbs and amulets. He needs a mother's touch, a woman's love. But Azuka, Okoro's voice trailed off. Nneka leaned closer. Azuka is gone, my son. You cannot raise this child alone. He cries because he misses his mother's warmth. You need a wife to mend your broken heart. Okoro's chest tightened. The thought of marrying another woman felt like betrayal. But as he looked at Nzube's tear-stained face, he realized that he couldn't do it all alone. He finally agreed to consider his mother's suggestion. The next morning, Nneka, Okoro's mother, spoke to the village elders. She arranged a meeting with Amara, a widow known for her kindness and strength. Amara had lost her husband to a sudden illness, leaving her with two children, Obinna and Ada. Obinna was 3 years old, while Ada was 2 years old. Okoro hesitated when he met Amara, but when he saw the way she held Nzube, who had finally fallen asleep, his heart softened. Amara looked at Nzube and then at Okoro. "I will be a mother to your child," she said softly. As the days went by, Okoro marveled at the transformation Amara's presence brought into their lives. She took care of Nzube as if he were her own child. When the baby cried, Amara would sway him gently until he fell asleep. As the days passed, Amara couldn't help but notice a lady named Ngozi. Ngozi was not just beautiful, she was proud. She would insult anyone, regardless of age. The market women feared her sharp tongue, and the men admired her from afar, afraid to approach. Amara admired Ngozi. Every young lady in Umuagu wanted to be like Ngozi. But with time, they became friends. And as their friendship flourished, Amara found herself spending more time with Ngozi, leaving little time for her own children. She would sit for hours, gossiping and laughing with Ngozi, oblivious to the passing hours and the responsibilities waiting at home. As the years flew by, Nzube grew into a diligent and studious young boy, his determination shining brightly in his academic pursuits. Everyone started calling him the young professor. As Nzube continued to excel academically, his reputation as the young professor spread throughout the village. Other parents began to make reference to Nzube when talking to their own children, using him as an example of dedication and success. Meanwhile, Amara's own children, Obinna and Ada, struggled to keep up with Nzube's academic prowess. They preferred chasing dragonflies by the river. Their schoolwork was done half-heartedly. Then one day, Ngozi saw an opportunity to sow seed of doubt and jealousy in Amara's mind, poisoning her thoughts, insinuating that Okoro's pride in Nzube's achievements could spell trouble for Amara and her own children. "Amara," Ngozi said, "you see how Okoro looks at Nzube? With pride." Amara nodded. Ngozi leaned closer. "Have you considered why Okoro dotes on Nzube?" Amara frowned. "Because Nzube is brilliant. He will bring honor to our family." Hey, Ngozi laughed. "Honor? It's time for you to open your eyes and see." Ngozi whispered negative words into Amara's ear. "Remember, Okoro is not the biological father of your children. Nzube carries Azuka's blood, not yours. What if Okoro leaves everything to him? What will become of Obinna and Ada, your children?" Amara's mind spun. She imagined Nzube studying, his eyes filled with curiosity. She then imagined Obinna carving wooden bowls and Ada, but Ngozi continued, What if you did something? What if you secured their future? Amara's heart raced. What do you mean? She asked. Ngozi's eyes glittered. A potion, perhaps. One that would make Okoro see Obinna and Ada as his own. A love potion, Amara. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Ngozi interrupted. Think about it. Nzube will inherit everything. Your children will be left with nothing. Unable to shake off the feeling of unease, Amara confronted Okoro, her voice shaking with uncertainty. But instead of reassurance, Okoro's response only added to her fears. Nzube is a remarkable boy. He has the potential to achieve great things. Amara couldn't sleep that night after what Ngozi told her. She kept thinking about it over and over again. She worried about her children, Obinna and Ada, and what might happen to them if Nzube got everything. She loved her children, but Nzube was not her biological child. Determined to protect her own children's future, Amara resolved to take action before it was too late. Little did she know that Ngozi's influence would lead her down a dangerous path, one that would tear her family apart. Next morning, Ngozi brought Amara to a spiritualist who gave her a love potion, gave Amara some instructions and told her to be very careful. If the love potion gets to the wrong hands, she will face the consequences. Amara got home, mixed the love potion inside her husband's food. As she was about to say the incantations given to her by the spiritualists, someone started banging at the door. Amara! Amara! The voice cried out, interrupting her thoughts. Something has happened to Ada. Please come fast before it's too late. Amara's heart was filled with fear. At the mention of her daughter's name, without hesitation, she abandoned the love potion, rushed outside, mind filled with worry. Back at home, Nzube and Okoro returned, not knowing about the trouble outside. Okoro, concerned about his wife's absence, asked Nzube to check the kitchen for food. Nzube found the food Amara had cooked earlier and took a bite. Then suddenly he burst into laughter.